in today's video, I just wanted to make a small video. This isn't suggested or anything, but just as because it is a very wanted pet, I thought I'd make it anyway. So this is my my first ever leopard gecko. Now this is Buddy. He's a bit overweight at the moment, trying to get some weight off him. But yeah, this is Buddy. He has just shed, so he is nice and bright. But as you can see, if I can just carefully lift his arm up, come here. It's like this because he's been in a plastic box for the past 5 minutes whilst I was doing the intro. But you can see he has these little bubbles under his arms. Now, I'll just tell you what they are now. They're calcium sacs. I'll go into that later on what they are and how you can prevent it. But yeah, in today's video, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the basic care, just enough so you can get on yourself. Now, just as a disclaimer, he is in this at the moment. Just to tell you, this is not his home, because it needs to be, I'd say, minimum twice the size of this. Yes, he is in a cage almost 3 times the size of this, so I wouldn't worry. But yeah, this is Buddy. He is around nearly 6 years old now. So he's pretty old and he's a big boy, and he's going to be a daddy soon, which I'm extremely excited about. So first I'm just going to go through feeding. I am going to go and get what I feed mine. Now, this is my 2 leopard gecko's basic diet. There are 4 different types of food here. Right, I am going to sneeze, and you can't see me. So, I'm going to start with these. These are Mario worms. Now, for my bigger gecko, Buddy, here, which you saw at the start, he loves Mario worms. He will eat, I normally give him, in a week, he'll probably have about 6 to 8 of these. This is a Mario worm. I used to chop the heads off these for Buddy, because that is advised for leopard geckos, because sometimes they can damage the insides of them. Buddy, what are you doing? So here he is. I know, very stressful videos, aren't they? Right, I'm going to put him back, because he's very stressed out of the video. Buddy, don't bite me. I know you're probably not going to, because he's mature enough. And I just kicked the stopper away. Lovely. So, like I was saying, he does love these. He has about 6 to 8 a week, including locusts and mealworms. And the odds, I'd say he has about 2, I say he has about 3 waxworms a week, which is the other thing that I need to show you, which I've forgotten to get. Lovely. Now, so, this is a pot of waxworms. It doesn't have a lid, because the lid I've used to put in the protein stuff for my giant African land snails. I'm not swearing at you. For goodness sake, camera, stay. There we go. So this is a waxworm, harmless things. Very good for fattening up an animal. That's why I love them, because when an animal's underweight, 1, you'll find out not a lot of leopard geckos will turn a waxworm down, and 2, they're pretty easy to put a weight on an animal. Now, these they're not essential, but they're almost essential. These are, they stink though. These are my mealworms. Trust me, mealworms are the best. They don't have you can't really see them, there you go. They don't have the most protein in, but they're definitely good, just as like something to have in the cage all the time. Because a lot of people for leopard geckos put a mealworm pot in their cage. That's advised to do from when they're young, because if they don't know what a mealworm pot is, they're probably not going to go to it. Now, I've had problems with that with Buddy. He still does have a small problem with that, because I didn't get him when he was like tiny. I got him in 2000 and... Ew, the cucumber's gone mushy. I got him in 2000 and let's think, 2014, which was 6 years ago. No, I got him in 2015 and he was born in 2014. We got there. Now, this is a dubia roach. Now, oh my god, they love dubia roaches. I used to keep these as pets, just to let you know. Now, these are like the most hardy feeder insects ever. They will last ages, whether you give them food or not. I give them food because it's healthier for the animal, but they can survive anything. And this is the last thing I feed them. This is a size 4 locust, or a large locust. Some companies call it size 4, some call it large. I call it size 4 personally. Now, there are different sizes of size 4, if that's what I mean. They're not all exactly the same size. So ones like this, I would feed to my female, which isn't as big. However, ones like this, let's get one, I would feed to my adult male. Now, when the saying, it has to be the width of your leopard gecko's eye, I do believe in that. It is important, but it isn't essential just to be exact the width. Why am I so close? If it's a bit bigger, it's fine. Obviously, if it's a bit smaller, it's fine. But these are bigger than the width of my leopard gecko's eyes. They eat them all the time. I know a lot of people that feed their leopard geckos this. And the thing is, when they say you can feed a leopard gecko a cricket, they don't really think, haven't put this out there, a lot of people, that crickets bite, and even though locusts do, when I've put crickets in a leopard gecko's cage, I've found bite marks on my leopard geckos, and it's very, very rare, if ever, I will find a bite mark on my leopard gecko from these guys. It does happen from time to time, just to let you know. Whether it's a good eater or not, it will happen. But when I put crickets in the cage, which I don't do anymore because I don't really like crickets, they will just nibble on your leopard gecko, which I hate. So yeah, that is the feeding. Now, next, I really need to find a better place to put this iPad. But I have an iPad, yeah. So as my filming, I'm getting a camera. I know. But I'm just gonna be okay, oh, for goodness sake. Now you can just see my head. Let me get a chair. Ta-da! Now I'm on a chair now. Humidity and hydration is something that people misunderstand, and it annoys me. So leopard geckos live in places like Pakistan, around that area in the Middle East. They do need some humidity. I say that because it can help them sometimes, maybe in shed, give them a humid hide. But whatever I say, do not think that the cage has to be humid. Now, some people mistake leopard geckos as African fat-tailed geckos. I've even heard people mistake leopard geckos for crested geckos, which pees me off. They're different, okay? Leopard geckos, like I say, live in the Middle East and live in rocky desert areas. That's something that I'm going to talk about as well later in terms of substrate. They don't need a humid cage. They need a water bowl, obviously. I'd recommend 2 water bowls for a leopard gecko, personally. But they'll do just fine with 1, as long as they know where it is. Give them a humid hide for shedding. It is advised a moss hide, a eco-earth hide. But whatever you do, don't make the cage like a bioactive cage. Don't make it full of live plants. Don't make it covered in moist eco-earth or spray it down twice a day. That's what you do with an African fat roll. I've never kept an African fat-tailed gecko, but I know they need more humid environments than them. So that's something that I just wanted to say in terms of water. I just wanted to add that in there. Don't spray their cage down like it's a humid or a New Caledonian gecko. Now, I'm going to talk about substrate, being as I was talking about it in humidity. Don't mind me putting my legs up, there's the bed there. I'm tired, it's Friday, I've got Friday fever. I'm just going to be talking about substrate because, again, it's something that's misunderstood. There's a lot of misunderstood stuff in reptiles. Don't give them sand. That's my first sentence. You know what I mean. Don't put sand in their cage. They will take it when they eat their food, and it can ruin their digestive system. And if the animal is too young, or if it is too small, or got a bad or poor immune system, it will die, pretty much. Calci sand, I know some people recommend it, but it's so small, as we all know, it can easily be swallowed. I know they say calci sand is better, and it is better than normal sand, don't get me wrong, because if they swallow it, it's got calcium in it, yeah, but still got the sand in it, and it's just bad. I wouldn't give them sand. No. Rocky pebbles, yeah, I've had them before in their cages. It's fine. I can deal with that, but it does have a bit of sand in it. It does annoy me. If your gecko is an adult and it does have a good immune system, I wouldn't be as scared, but I'd still not recommend it. Some people do, some people find it's fine, but the geckos, all geckos are different, so this doesn't go to every single gecko. Some geckos will find it fine, some geckos will react really badly to it. So all I'm going to say is, just to stay safe, I wouldn't go with sand. What I recommend for a leopard gecko is, I wouldn't go with any wood chippings. I'd say eco-earth to me, just dry eco-earth, not moist. Let it dry completely. Eco-earth cocoa fibre on the bottom, that's absolutely fine. What I actually do is I have that mixed with sphagnum moss, dry sphagnum moss, and it works really well. You can get away with bark. I'll show you what bark is, if some people don't. That just sounds weird. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what bark is. But this is bark. Yeah, that's reptile bark. I'd say you can get away with that. I wouldn't house one in it, but I wouldn't be annoyed, or I wouldn't be concerned if I saw a leopard gecko cage with bark in it. For a cheaper option, which a lot of people do want, just paper towel. It is more maintenance because you have to clean it out a lot, because they will poo on it, it will go all horrible, they'll spill water on it, the animals will poo on it, the feeder animals. So yeah, it does require more maintenance, but it is nowhere near as expensive, because you can get some bags of substrate for 20, 30 odd pounds, whereas you can get a cocoa fibre brick for £4, even less at some places. You can get a massive brick like that for like £4. I always get them, they're amazing. And I just have them, I just put the whole thing in water, I have the thing under my bed, I can just take it out when I want. This is eco-earth in this land snail cage for information. So yeah, that is now, heat. Something that, again, a lot of people do have, opinions on this. Leopard geckos normally have belly heat. In the wild, obviously, they have the sun, which gives off a lot of heat. So, I recommend in their cage a heat mat as their heat. That's what I have on a thermostat, just to keep the temperature there. A thermometer in their cage to keep on checking. And I'm going to get onto the heat now, which is really what you've been waiting for. What are you videoing? Just let the gecko. So, hi again. It's the next day. As you can tell, it's bright now, but I'm still in the same clothes because I only wore these for like 2 hours yesterday. That was my mum that came in, that you saw like less than half a minute ago, and I saw 13 hours ago, or more. So, yeah, the heating, I'm going to get to it now, 14 and a half hours later. So roughly they're going to need around, in Celsius, 30 to 32 degrees Celsius, maybe you can go 34 max, I'd say. Fahrenheit, I'd say 89 to 93, 94 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, they do need a lot of heat, but basking lamps I wouldn't really recommend. I have a lamp in there just as like a light. It's just a normal light bulb for reptiles, but no, I don't have a basking lamp because it can give them metabolic bone disease, including lack of calcium can give them that as well. They will need a hot and a warm end, a hot hide, so a hide in the warm end, a hide in the cool end. So the cool end is where the warm isn't, so it can go there to cool off, and it will normally, I think you can get away sometimes without giving a humid hide, but I give them anyway because it is recommended. So yeah, I definitely give them at least 2 hides. I give them 3. Now, lifespan of these guys. Now, leopard geckos are a very big commitment when it comes to lifespan. They can live in between 12 to 20 years. The oldest one I have at the moment is a 7-year-old, which is my first one. Then I have a 6-year-old. Then I have a 3-year-old. So yeah, they're mine, and very soon I'm going to be having 2 more because I've got a female that's going to be laying. I didn't realise the radio was on. Hey Google, off. There we go. So yeah, they're gonna need an owner that is committed, because even though you can rehome them, you've still got to think about that before you get the animal, because it's not ideal rehoming an animal because it's a lot of stress. Leopard geckos, even though they're not the most, they're the most sociable gecko. Even though they are that, they can still get stressed and they can still drop their tails. So yeah. So yeah, that is basically the video today. I hope I didn't miss anything. Okay. Someone's having a disco. Just got distracted. So yeah, I hope you didn't miss anything. If I did, just comment down below and it will be turned into a video. Don't be afraid to comment down below. If you want a video about an animal, I will do it. I am reading the comments, I'm replying to the comments. So if you're watching this video and you're one of the commenting people, hi. If you want, actually, I'll put this out there as well. If you want a shout out, put it in your comment as well, because I will do it. I'm not going to do a shout out if they don't want to do it. So if you want a shout out, put it in your comment and you will get one. Trust me, you will get one. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, like, subscribe, turn notifications, comment down below, anything, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.